To all the Muslim faithfuls out there, I say welcome to the month of Ramadan. I beg your pardon. And I say, as we all know, that the month of Ramadan is the month of peace, the month of forgiveness, and the month of being, people having to be separated to their creator. I want to say that as we proceed in the fast, may the peace of the Almighty be upon every one of us as a people and as a nation, because at this point in time we need peace in the land. And I hope and pray that as everyone continues to pray, most especially at this point in time, the Almighty God will restore the peace that is much needed even into this country, Nigeria. And Nigeria will be fine again. Good morning to everyone watching out there. You're welcome to another beautiful, educative, interesting show. The show is Morning Ride, coming to you live from NTA2 Victoria Island, Lagos. Here on the show, we come to educate you. We come to give you an entertaining 90 minutes. We are your weekend starters. Yes, the weekend has started. How was your week? Well, mine was just there, come see, come say. But this weekend, everybody looks forward to weekend. And that's why we are here to give you all different packages to make your weekend worthwhile. This morning, we will be talking about depression. There's so much of frustrations out there. And a lot of people walk outside being so aggressive. Could we say that so many people are falling into depression unconsciously? We have a professional in the studio that will talk, to us about what depression is, how you would know when it seems to be as if you are beginning to fall into depression, and every other thing that pertains to our mental health. Also, we will be encouraging young artists. If you are out there and you are delving into the entertainment world, don't give up. Keep doing what you want to do. Keep doing what you love to do. We have someone in the studio that is a musician and is here. Maybe through his story, you will be encouraged and you will continue to move on. Our regulars, also, we have for you today, Tolani is somewhere to tell us about living healthy. That's lifestyle and nutrition, entertainment tidbits also there for us. But we groove as we start the show. As we start the show this morning, we want to dance. And this morning, we have a song by Orisha Femi, and that's Happy Day. Sit back, relax, don't go anywhere. Enjoy this music.
Every night and day I just give a lot of times I praises to my teacher. Nígbà táwọn tá fẹ́ borí mi níbi ó gbé mi ga o. Àti gbàgìlọ̀ ká tó gbé rí. Ẹnu rí yọ kó sọpẹ́. Èmi ti bá wọn jìyà kí n tún débi. Ẹ dákẹ́ bá mi gbé gọpẹ́. Shake your body up. It's not the time to dance, not the time to the best. This kind of music you go try to dance slow and steady. You know go give you stress. Anything where I be today, now Baba God you. All the goodness and mercies which Jehovah they give to me, they make me happy. Happy day is a happy day. Happy day is a happy day. Happy day, Baba make me happy. Ichiburuku akojo redo for touching on tele. Koni yale mi mo. Aje ni mu. Wọ́n máa yín mú wọn bọ́. Tábà ṣeré délé yín o. Tábà lọ ṣìwà òwe máa níbi wá mọ́. Tábà níbi tí mo ti ń dẹ́mọ̀. Táwọn èèyàn pé jọ̀lọ̀ wọ̀ ní ìbọn. Destiny is in the hand of Jehovah. My destiny is in the hand of Jehovah. easy, you go just that's a slow and steady. You know, go give you stress. Anything where I be today, nah, Baba God. All the goodness and mercies which Jehovah they give to me, they make me happy. Happy is a happy day. Happy is a happy day. Happy day, Baba make me happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, see. Ijiburuku àtọ́jú ẹ̀rọ fọ́ tó ti rán tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ní alẹ́ mi mọ́. Ayé ni mo ọmọ ni mo mọ̀ bọ́. Tábà ṣe dédélé yìí o, tẹ bá lọ ṣìwà wù ẹ̀ máa níbí wá mọ́. Tẹ bá níbi tí mo ti dẹ̀ mọ́, táwọn yẹ pé jọ̀nà mọ́ ní ìbọn. Já, Olúwa mi ọba tó tóbi arére o. Igi ọba mi, àtọ́bí ju alẹ́ wí lè ṣe o.
Yeah, happy day there by Orisha Femi. My name is Yinka Kenny this morning, and I'm going to be your host. Depression is what we will be talking about this morning. Depression, we are made to know that is a state of extreme sadness, and it is also a silent killer that rears its head from time to time. So dangerous, experts say it can go unnoticed for a long period of time. What really is depression? Does it have a cure? Can it be treated? And can it actually be averted? These are many more we'll be talking about this morning with my guest in the studio. My guest in the studio this morning, she is Dr. Kike Oyekanmi. She's a chief consultant psychiatrist at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Aru, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Dr. Kike, good morning.
Good morning, Kenny. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
So many things happening now with the inflation in prices of food, fuel, almost everything is getting, everybody is so annoyed, everybody is frustrated. You talk to someone on the street and the person just snaps at you back and you wonder, what did I say? Or what did I do? What is happening in our environment? Really, can we say that people are depressed? Everybody is depressed going along the streets. Everybody, we are all depressed. Let me start from here. What really is depression?
Thank you. Depression is an English word, but when we talk about depression as an illness, depression is a medical illness that has to do with the brain. Because the brain is the organ of the mind. You know, the way we think, the way we feel, our behavior, everything comes from the brain. So when we say depression is a form of mental disorder that would not allow one to function as one should function because there's this disturbance in that person's mood. Now, it is normal for somebody to feel sad or frustrated or angry or irritated when things don't go on well in that person's life. But depression is more than just feeling sad. When we say depression, we mean an illness, clinical depression. Now, this type of depression would also come in with so many other things. You know that, assuming something happens to one, maybe somebody loses a loved one, or you lose a cherished dream or something like that. Yes, you can feel sad, but that sadness would not cripple you. It will not incapacitate you. You will still be able to function. But when it comes to depression as an illness, that negative mood, sadness, it could be irritability. You mentioned one, that some people can just snap at the slightest provocation, even when there's no provocation. So it is more than just ordinary sadness or irritability. In depression, you have other symptoms. You have things like the person loses interest in activities or things that he or she used to enjoy. So for example, maybe somebody used to enjoy watching football, and then the person is depressed. You might just see that the person is no longer interested in doing that. Maybe it's a woman who likes cooking, and when she gets depressed, she's no longer interested in doing that. Maybe it's somebody who likes sports, maybe going to the field, you know, maybe to play chess, to play draft and all these things, and the person would lose interest. Now, another symptom of depression that people need to watch out for is when you feel that you don't have energy. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's as if you have done the whole work in this world. You are just drained. You are fatigued even before doing anything at all. So in depression, you find yourself easily fatigued from doing even nothing or just a minimal chore. Also, you can have changes in your sleep pattern. So sometimes it could be that you find it hard to sleep. It could be that you wake up earlier than usual. It could be that you are even oversleeping.
Oh.
Yes. There are some types of depression that instead of manifesting as insomnia is when somebody cannot sleep well. It can manifest with hypersomnia, that is when somebody is even oversleeping. It can also, depression can also manifest with changes in your appetite. So sometimes your appetite, you might just lose appetite, you don't feel like eating, or sometimes you are eating and the food is not tasty, it is tasteless. It's like you are eating wood. And sometimes too, some people who are depressed, they actually start to overeat. And this type of persons, this group of persons, we say that, you know, they are using that food to medicate the distress, the sadness, that feeling, that negative feeling. You know that when you eat, you know, you feel a bit happy, you feel pleasurable. So there are some people that would even be overeating. Also in depression, you would find out that you lack the ability to concentrate on things. You might be doing a task that ordinarily you should finish in 1 hour, but you see that you are making mistakes. 2 hours, you are still there. 3 hours, you are still there. 4 hours, even till the next day. Or sometimes you even procrastinate. Oh, I'll do this. I'll do that. I don't feel like doing it now. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. That could be a symptom of depression. Sometimes too, you just lose hope. You see the future as bleak. Nothing is going to ever get right. And then you feel helpless, as if there's nothing you can do that will remedy your situation. We call that hopelessness and helplessness. Also, sometimes you might feel guilty about little mistakes of the past. So you hold on to, maybe you have done or you have committed 1 or 2 mistakes in the past, and they are trivial mistakes that ordinarily you should just forgive yourself about. And this time you're feeling so guilty. You might even be feeling guilty about the errors of other people. Yes. Sometimes too, in depression, you might now see that you are having suicidal thoughts. Like, I'm tired of this world. Everything should just end. How can I take my life? Some people, it will start with the thought, and then if it is not treated, if nothing is done, can gradually progress into the person actually trying
looking
to plan,
looking
for means to exit this world. Also, depression can also manifest as physical symptoms. So, some people who are depressed can be having recurrent headaches, neck pain, back pain, stomach pain, and
back pain.
Yes. So when you find that you are always consuming paracetamol, or you are always consuming painkillers, or you are always treating malaria, every month you are treating malaria, you are taking anti-malaria medicines, or you are taking other medicines. You know, in this environment, people will say, oh, I have malaria, I have typhoid. So if you see that you are always taking some medication for some physical ailments, it might be that you actually have depression. So what I'm saying is that depression manifests with a whole range of symptoms. The way I manifest depression might not be the same for you, yes. So that's why we have a whole range of symptoms, but there are some core symptoms. And then when we begin to experience these things that I have mentioned, and they persist, they don't go away, and they disturb you from functioning well. Things you used to do before, you can no longer do them. when they start disturbing you, maybe you are a student, you can no longer concentrate, you can no longer do your academics. Maybe you are a wife, you can no longer do your motherly, your wifely duties. Maybe you are a director at work, maybe you are a cleaner, maybe you are a trader, and you are not able to discharge as you used to do. It might be that you have depression. And then, so in summary, what I'm saying is that when you begin to have these negative symptoms and they are intense, they cripple you, they paralyze you, and they are on for at least 2 weeks, then it is depression.
So much to digest there. But I picked one or two things when you were talking. You talked about sadness now. What I can get from what you have just said is that there's a thin line between being sad and being depressed. Now, how and when do I realize that I am beginning to cross to the other side?
Right, yeah.
Yes, because let me give you an instance. Maybe I change my environment and naturally everything there just gets me aggravated, just gets me, because maybe things are not just working.
Yeah.
I'm coming from another territory,
Yeah.
but yet in this territory, and before you know what is happening, this is getting me annoyed, that is getting me annoyed, this is getting me, and I'm beginning to get annoyed so often. So how and when do I realize or need to begin to watch the fact that I might be moving to depression, since it seems to be as if I'm getting sad so often? What's that thin line, to
Now, the thing is that, yes, it's normal to be sad
Yes.
when things are not going on the way you
Yes.
really desire. But when this sadness is accompanied by other symptoms,
Okay.
and yes, that I have mentioned,
Okay.
and when this sadness begins to eat into your ability to function well. So, the example you cited, you move into a new neighborhood. Yes,
Yes.
it's going to be stressful,
Yes.
right? So you might find that you are still thinking about how to adjust. You might get irritable, but those things are just little things that are normal reactions to your change of environment. But when they now start affecting your functionality, when you are not enjoying life anymore, when you feel distressed, or the people around you, they are no longer enjoying you, they feel distressed, then you have moved from normal sadness to a pathological sadness, which is depression.
moving to depression? Now, you said when you were defining depression as a medical a
Condition.
mental disorder, which means it can be treated.
Yes.
It can be treated. Now, at what point do I need to begin to seek for help now?
Okay.
Or at what point do I begin to see or notice that my friend, my family needs
Colleague.
help?
Yep. Now, whenever
And how?
Yeah.
Because I cannot, my brother in the house, or even my child, or
Yeah.
even my spouse, I cannot just walk to that person to say, Ogbeni, you are beginning to be depressed though. The person will just, the
Yes.
person that is depressed already, you just want to do another, you are depressed, and so
the
how
first
do we go about
Yeah,
it, and when do we seek for help?
The first thing is that, in this environment, a lot of times when it comes to the issue of mental health, a lot of people shy away from it. They don't want to talk about it. And then even when you see your colleague at work, or your spouse, or your relative, or your friend, when you see them display some abnormal symptoms, you know that there's something wrong with this person. But because of this cultural...
Our society.
Yes, this cultural holding back.
That's it.
Some people will say, I don't want to be the first that would go and tell that person that, is there something wrong with you? And some people, honestly, they will say, are you prophesying doom to my life? So we understand our culture, but still, we need to break this cycle of silence
So how?
when it comes to mental illness. So the first thing is acknowledging that mental illnesses are biological illnesses. Depression is a biological illness. It is not a spiritual thing, because
Abi?
when people start having symptoms that are suggestive of mental disorder, instead of them to go to the appropriate personnel to help them, they will first go to their clergies, maybe the imams or the pastors or their traditional babas and mamas. So people must understand that the way we think, the way we feel, our behavior, they are all programmed from the brain. So the brain is the organ of the mind. So as I am talking, you are listening to me, you are digesting it, you're understanding, you are concentrating, everything is done here in your head. So anything could go wrong with it. The brain is a biological organ, just like the bones, just like the liver, the heart. So we should first acknowledge that. It's not difficult for people to acknowledge. I mean, if you have malaria, you can tell your friend that, oh, I have malaria. If you are hypertensive, you can tell them that, the doctor says I need to be placed on anti-hypertensive drugs. But people still find it hard to tell their friend that, I have depression. Because they feel that it's a sign of weakness. It isn't a sign of weakness, it is an illness. And everybody is vulnerable, although we might have different degrees of vulnerability. So what I'm trying to say is that it is a medical illness. When you see any change in anybody, the person that you have known so well, you know the nuances of that person's behavior. So maybe you see that this person is no longer associating with others like he or she used to. The person is no longer doing his work. Maybe it's at work, and the person maybe is your subordinate or even your boss, and the person is no longer delivering.
Yeah.
Or the person, sometimes you just see that sad look on that person, or the person is even getting irritable, and people have to walk on eggshells around the person. Then you should know that there's something wrong. So we shouldn't shy away from being the first person to help that person, because sometimes too, when people are experiencing some mental health conditions, they might not really know at first. It might be the people around them that would first know that, oh, there's something wrong with this person. So whenever there's any aberration in somebody's normal mode of behavior or talking or reaction or attitude, then people should know that
something is
there's something wrong. There are times that you need to pamper yourself. Self-love is not selfish. Love yourself first.
Ooh, I love that.
Be concerned about your own, the way you love yourself, than the way you want other people to perceive you. Other things that people can do is that avoid unnecessary stresses. You see, in this life, a lot of times when people say they have problems, if you now sit and dissect their problems, you will see that a large percentage of the problems is man-made, they're self-made. So there are things, sometimes you engage in unhealthy relationships. Yes, that's one. Then sometimes you also engage in unhealthy competition. So your life is not about pleasing people. Some people are so concerned about the way people perceive them when it comes to material health and material possession and social status. So people are so particular about the way they look on Instagram. So they go to extra miles.
Oh my God.
But they buy things they cannot afford. They buy things, they go into debt, they go into these things. Some people say, oh, because I'm getting old, let me just marry whoever I need to marry. So that's unhealthy relationship. So because your relationship would also determine how happy you are, it's going to determine your mental health. So don't do things because of societal pressure. Don't be obsessed by the way the society wants you to be. What the society expects of you.
This is a conversation that honestly we cannot just finish everything today. I want to believe that probably my producer director would want us to have you some other time, because we still really need to talk about these and many more relating to mental health disorder. I've been talking to Dr. Ainokike Oyekanmi. She is the chief consultant psychiatrist at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Aru, Abeokuta. And this woman, she has got over 20 years of practice and experience in mental health. And I tell you, you will agree with me with all that she has been saying today, that indeed she is a guru. Thank you very much, Dr. Kike, for being our guest this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure that you have learned so much this morning, because I have learned. She said, self-love is not selfishness. Create time for yourself. Look out for yourself. You first, because you need to be good and in good health condition to be there for people around you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kike. It's been nice having you on the on set this morning. We'll go on a short break. When we return, my next guest will be here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Back to Lagos now, where Hindi know have the next set of report. No Hindi know. In Lagos, state houses of assembly have charged the federal government to direct relevant agencies to ensure
What does it take to get ahead in today's world? To get your dream job? The perfect girl? Even a table at your favorite dance club? It takes moving fast. It takes moving at the speed of 4G. With Intel 4G LTE, you've got it all covered. That's because you have access to super fast unlimited data that enables you move as fast as the speed of life. Now, no download is too heavy. No conversation too long. Nothing is impossible. Get Intel 4G LTE Advanced today and do so much more. Intel. Live more.
Welcome back. In the studio with me, I have a fast-rising musician with me. He's someone that has developed an interest in music after having been exposed to a variety of musical genres at a very, very young age. And I must tell you, he's still a very young man, and he's doing things, and he's putting things out there. In the studio, I have Muiz Babatunde Hussein. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure. I must say he's popularly called DZK.
You know what time it is. Let me give it to my people at home. Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your own boy, D to the I to the ZZYK. You know what time it is.
All right. You want to say D
D to the I to the Z to the Z to the Y.
Don't tell me I'm old school. So you are Hussein Babatunde Muiz, you know, like I am Yinka Kenny. People will call me YK. Something that you can relate with my name. So DZK just came from the moon. How did you come about DZK?
Well, my first name is Muiz. So growing up, people call me Muizi. Muizi.
Oh, Muizi, okay.
So DZK kind of came later, you know. People call me Muizi. Sometimes it gets so difficult, especially with people that know Yoruba, you know.
So
they call me Muse. Different pronunciation, you know. So to make things easy for people, you know, I just decided to, okay, so people I want to speak English, so let's give you English. What about Muizi Dizzy? You know, what do you think about that? So it just kind of clicked, and ever since then they've been calling me Dizzy everywhere, even at workplace, everywhere I go in my streets. You just hear someone call, hey, yo, Dizzy. So
tell me,
that's the story.
How did you start the journey? Music.
Well, music. Let me say, music. I met it at home.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
exactly. So growing up, my mom used to listen to love music. You know, she's a music fan, die-hard music fan. She loves to listen to music. So you know, and my dad makes music too. So I mean, right from there, you know, growing up, imagine you grow up in a family whereby music is always around you, anytime you can just listen. So all those experiences and you know, upbringing kind of
in the world of music.
Yeah, so everything kind of clicked together and made DZK. I found my interest in music, you know, growing up.
Wow. Okay, interest in music. I still have a lot to ask you this morning, but I know that you have something that you have put out there, and I want to show to our viewers. So sit back and watch one of his work.
If you have a question in Waka Waka is parabole. Today you dey on it. Baby money
we can do the day. I see the blessing concentrate. Nobody, I'm a shana wali. I'm a shana wali. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies, stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy, stand gidiga. Shana wali, go stand gidiga. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies, stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy, stand gidiga. Shana wali, go stand gidiga. Every day is a blessing. So I get down my knees and ask for more. Baba go give me more. What you see can be deceiving. Then you daily do, now you daily poopa. So we argue. You be thief, I don't be thief. You be rogue, I don't be rogue. You dey steal, I don't dey steal. You be robber, I don't be robber. You be ammo robber, I don't be ammo robber. Argument. Somebody don't carry something wey belong to another person. Oh no no, oh no. Be today you dey under it. Baby money quick do the day. I see the blessing concentrate. Nobody, I'm a shana wali. I'm a shana wali. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies, stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy, stand gidiga. Shana wali, go stand gidiga. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies, stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy, stand gidiga. Shana wali, go stand gidiga.
Today. It's making me feel so young. That's a beautiful one. Argument. And really, and that's just what is happening in our environment. Argument here and there, you know, this you said that, you know, you're an Amraba, you know, you put them with it. Yeah. Oh my God. So we're talking about the journey so far. Yes, you got music, got interested in music. So how did you start commercial music?
Well, let me see. I got my inspirations from a lot of people.
Okay.
In the music industry. Fela is my mentor. The likes of Reminis. I have Davido, Wizkid. So I grew up listening to these people too, you know. But Fela is my number one.
Yeah, I can
mentor.
see that you have a bit of Fela in that
music. Arguments was actually inspired by Fela.
By Fela.
Yeah,
yes.
and you know, if we look at what we go through today in this country, you see argument everywhere. You know, I did this, I didn't, you did that, you did not. You know, people trying to. So argument happens. You know, somebody don't carry something we belong to another person. I know be thief, you be thief. So argument happens from there, and it's something that we all go through in our daily lives, you know, one way or the other. So the song is inspired from our daily experiences.
So you do music commercially now?
Yes, I do.
So how have you been able to thrive? I get to have guests, young artists. Some of them would say, it's not been easy. All these stars, they are not helping us. They are not looking at my way. So how has it been for you?
Well, if you enjoy something, if you enjoy something from your art, you do it with everything you've got, and regardless of what people.
Maybe you get support,
yeah,
or you do
so
not get
you-
support.
you
So
do-
would you say, have you gotten support from all these famous artists?
Yeah, I've gotten shout outs from a lot of artists for that.
For that, I like that. So you keep doing what you love to do. Music, I know that it's very tasking. It's time consuming, and you already said to me that you do other things. I like that because most times I have, you know, fast growing musicians on set, and they tell me they do music alone. Now, you have told me that you do other things alongside. How do you find a balance? How do you, juggle this, juggle that, and,
Yeah, this is a question people ask me a lot of time actually. You know, people come up to me and be like, what time do you go to the studio with this small time that you have? How do you record your songs? How do you do all those things? But when you love something, you make time for it. You make time. It's just, everything just fits. It connects. You understand? So that's what music is for me. I've never had to struggle. Although sometimes I've had to be in the studio like 1, 2 a.m. Sometimes I've had to travel and lodge, and sometimes there's stress involved. But when you love something, it's just natural. It flows. No hassle. You
So
just do
what's
it.
your everyday like?
Well, let me say in the morning, I might be at work. You know, yeah, I might be at work.
Work, music, or other also?
Other also. So mostly in the evening, that's where you find me in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I have an in-house producer, so once I get back from work, and it's the studio till the next day, so that's how it's like for me.
Okay, let's talk about you. Have you heard of Dizike Falola?
Yes, of course.
So is there
This
any,
Falola is my mentor too.
so is there anything connecting that name Dizzy and
Yeah.
because you will pay for copyright.
People have asked me this question like 1,000 times, DZK, Falala. In fact, sometimes when you go on the internet and try to find DZK, you just see DZK Falala, But is this you? Are you this old? No. Shout out to DZK Falala. Is my mentor. He's one of the people I look up to in the industry. He's one of the people I look up to. I'm also working. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a little hint on something I'm working on. I'm working on a cover of DZK Falola,
Wow.
Baby Kilo Day. Have you heard that song? Baby
Look
Kilo
at
Day.
you, bet me this way.
So I'm working on a cover on that. It's gonna be a classic.
Really,
and
that's
it's gonna be
nice.
very good. Yeah, it's my way of saying thank you, sir, to Mr. DZK Falola. Thank you for giving us such beautiful music. I mean, that music is one of the best.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you
Do
very
something
much.
for me. All right.
Okay, yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your own boy D to the I to the ZZYK. You know what time it is. You're my Coca-Cola body, my Coca-Cola. Oh. See now you be my Coca-Cola body. See the way you fine, omoge. Now you be my Coca-Cola body, yeah. My Coca-Cola. Oh. Say you're my Coca-Cola body. Yo, what's up? It's your boy D to the I to the ZZYK. Oshamo, Shokilo Belgi.
Shokila Berge. Let's see what some other of his work. We'll be right back.
So I get down my knees and ask for more. Baba go give me more. What you see can be deceiving. Can you daily do? Now you daily pupa. So we argue. You be thief, I don't be thief. You be rogue, I don't be rogue. You dey steal, I don't dey steal. You be robber, I don't be robber. You be ammo robber, I don't be ammo robber. Argument. Somebody don't carry something we belong to another person. Oh no, don't be today you dey under it. Baby money quick do the day. I see the blessing concentrate. Oh body, I'm a shana wali. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy stand gidiga. Shana wali go stand gidiga. Who be that? Stand gidiga. All of my ladies stand gidiga. Mommy and daddy stand gidiga. Shana wali go stand gidiga. Jeje waka for Lagos. Go akete. Shower no be tight us. We dey hustle to turn up. All my year go so. Police go come. Wait till you carry you go.
Say well done. Well done. So what's your latest work?
At the moment, I'm working on an EP, which consists of 5 singles. Yeah, 5 singles. I'm featuring 2 other artists actually on But right now, there's a song out there. It's titled "Slow Down." Yeah.
We need to slow down.
Baby, slow down.
Is it only
Cause
baby?
if you go down, I'll be there to catch you. Baby, we go all over. Oh yeah, bend over. Now you be my superstar. Baby, slow down. So it's a love song. Baby, you need to slow down.
I think I'm loving that song.
If you fall down, I'll catch you.
It's been so much interesting time talking to my guest this morning, Muiz Hussein Babatunde, popularly called DZK. Thank you so much. Honestly, I was enjoying myself all through the session. Thank you for being my guest this morning.
Thank you very much.
We go straight to lifestyle and nutrition with Tolani. Don't go anywhere.
The food we eat can be the most potent form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Those are the words of Anne Wigner. My name is Faseun Tolani. You're at Nutrition Gist Media Queen from the Savage Line. All right, so continuing in the series we've started a couple of weeks now, we've been talking about foods that we take. Foods that we take, some kind of foods that can fire up the tendency of some disease conditions in the body. Simply put, some foods that will increase some disease conditions in the body. All right, so these foods that we take on a daily basis, we may not know that perhaps they're just lovely, perhaps they're just maybe a tribe food, maybe a continental diet, whatever that we enjoy taking, that we do not know that it can give or it is the one causing some adverse effects on our health. All right, so I'm going to mention a couple. I've been mentioning one a couple of weeks. If you missed another episode, just follow through back, at our platforms so that you can get them. All right, so the food I'm mentioning today is your fruits and your smoothie. I know people will say, what are you talking about? Fruits. We're advised to take fruits. We're advised to eat fruits daily. In fact, almost every time and now and then, trying to tell us that fruits can bring some adverse effects to our body. This is what I'm saying. It is one thing to eat. It is another thing entirely to eat intelligently. There is a way and a manner that you can do something good in an adverse way that it will become an adversity to your body. That fruit, you can eat that fruit in a way that subsequently it endangers your health. It is good to take fruits, but there is a craze of smoothies out there now. There is a craze of, I must take fruits first thing in the morning. I must take it before breakfast. Some people even have fruits as their breakfast, and then maybe later by 2 p.m. they have their lunch. The problem, as good as these things are, the problem is if you have the tendency for some disease conditions, these can fire up the incidences of some ailments in your body. Now, here is it. If you have the tendency, for instance, for ulcer, and then you are taking fruits first thing in the morning, and the kind of fruits you're even taking are things like orange, things like pineapple, things like lemon in water. What happens is, I give you a couple of weeks, you will fall into the path of having some chronic gastritis. You will fall into the path of having some ulcers. And ulcer is not what we think it is. Ulcer is a very chronic disease. Ulcer makes women lose babies, have miscarriages. Ulcer can lead to a perforation. And when you have perforation in the intestine, especially for adults, the chances of survival is very slim. Ulcers can lead into cancers, colon cancers. So there is so much about ulcer that people do not know until it becomes irreversible. I mean, the condition escalates and there is little that can be done. So are we saying you shouldn't take fruits? No, we are not saying that. What we are saying is that your fruit intake, if you must take it first thing in the morning, probably you want to move your bowel because you're not, stooling frequently as you should. Maybe you want to move your bowel, or maybe you are on the overweight side and you want to lose weight, so you're taking fruits before food. The kind of fruits that you can take in the early hours of the morning, because the morning, they call it breakfast. You've been on a fast all through the night. Should be some kind of fruits, not just your regular kind of fruit. So we're going to take a little break now, and we'll be back after this break. So you don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back. All right, so like we have been talking about, since we started this segment, we've been talking about the issue of ulcer and about how you have to be careful with your fruit intakes. If you're taking fruits on empty stomach, make sure you have food around you within the next 15 to 20 minutes, I beg your pardon, at least. Yes, anything exceeding 30 minutes, you just take fruits alone, or some even make the fruit their basic food as their breakfast alone. You are paving the way for ulcers. Why? Listen carefully. Fruits are majorly enzymic in nature. It means that fruits are meant to metabolize, to break something down. So when you take them on empty stomach, what do you want them to break down? The walls of your stomach? Because they need to work on something. They are not majorly food. They are like middlemen that should help you to digest your meals. That is why from ancient times, from time immemorial, fruits have always been desserts. That means you take them after you have taken your food, your main meal. They are taken after. So this is it. You must, as much as possible, avoid taking fruits on empty stomach. And even if you want to remember, make sure they are the non-acidic fruits like bananas, like maybe watermelon, like maybe cucumbers. Those are not acidic. You can still take them on empty stomach, but you must have food around you within 15 minutes to 20 minutes, to avoid ulcers. Now, peradventure you have ulcers. Let me give you some little bits, like we are in a clinic right now, and they could help you. They would go a long way, in helping you to manage the condition. I always tell people the answer to ulcer is all about you eating regularly. If you can pay attention to your meals and you can take regular meals, you will not have too much issues with ulcers. So number one thing you must do is to make sure you take frequent 3 square meals. 3 square meals. And even these 3 square meals, I would say you could break it down to some 4 or 5 times, meaning that it could be small portion. Probably what you should take once, you take it twice, and then just space it like some 3 to 4 hours regularly. Because this is it. Apart from many other factors that causes ulcer, the major thing that causes ulcers are the H. pylori. And this microbe grows in an acidic environment. It needs acidity around it to grow. And when you starve for a long time, when you're not eating for a long time, you allow this H. pylori to thrive and to grow well in your stomach. And as they grow within the walls of the stomach, they begin to eat into the walls of the stomach if you're still a child, or the intestine if you're an adult. And if it is not well managed, they can eat into a perforation. They can eat to make the injury, if it doesn't heal up, to become a cancer. And they can eat into it to cause some kind of ailment and disease. So the answer to ulcer is make sure you eat regular meals. Also, make sure your meals are not acidic. They are not the ones that would irritate the lines of your stomach, like too peppery, like too hot, or too cold. We call it thermal sensitive. Avoid too much thermal sensitive foods, like very hot food, very peppery food, very cold food. as much as you can. And another thing I would want to give you as a salve, what you can do regularly is to make sure that you drink a lot of water to keep gases out of your tummy. Before you eat, take a lot of water to flush out previous gas that would have accumulated. And then aloe vera has been good, potent enough, of course, to kill the H. pylori. Because I'd like to, end with that. The fact is, if the H. pylori is not dealt with, if those microbes are there, then even trying so many therapies may not really help. So it's either you do omeprazole, you see your gastroenterologist to help you, or better still, you go the natural with aloe vera, oh, I beg your pardon, with aloe vera juice, and so many others. So you just check back at our clinic and we'll give you some little bits of what to do about it. So avoid fruits on empty stomach. This is a dietary habit that paves the way for ulcer incidences in the future. So this is a good place for me to wrap up this segment. So till we meet, same time, same me, and same morning ride. You go, eat to live, and don't live to eat. Bye for now.
Well, there are so many habits that we do, we take part in, probably because we have met it over the time, over the years, that was the way our parents did it, and we still go on doing it, not knowing that we are damaging our system. So to everyone out there, it's Ramadan and everybody is fasting. The next thing, when you want to break your fast, you just go and take the next available fruit. Tolani has said to us right now that that is not a good one to do. The best thing, you take water, and at most in the next 10-15 minutes, have your meal. Thank you so much, Tolani, for that information. Next on the show, we go on to entertainment tidbits. The internet is almost broken. During the week, it was all about Annie Idibia versus our brother, Wisdom Macaulay. Sit back and enjoy entertainment tidbits. I'll be right back.
Glad to have you join us on Entertainment Tidbit on Morning Ride. Nollywood actress Annie Idibia has called out her elder brother, Wisdom Macaulay, after he accused her of introducing him to hard drugs. Macaulay made this known via his Instagram page recently. According to him, Annie turned him into a slave and refused to pay him all his dues during the period he worked for her. In her response, the actress accused the brother of being irresponsible. Apparently, the rift started after she refused to make him her manager, a position she wasn't comfortable with. She also alleged that she has been responsible for the upkeep of his family for a very long time. Meanwhile, Nigerian music icon Baba Idibia also reacted to the allegations leveled against his wife, Annie, by her elder brother, Wisdom Macaulay. Respect to family, but sometimes some family is your worst enemy, he wrote on his Instagram story. In another development, Baba Idibia, via a post on his Instagram story with a picture of the late former head of state, wrote, "If to say Abacha actually thief this money, we for no fit recover am. Abi na only me they think this thing. I think he, Abacha, try to keep it away from these thieving hands. My personal opinion. If not, please tell me what has become of the recovered funds. Aluta continua abi." The former head of state purportedly stole Nigeria's money, running into billions of dollars, but died even before spending his loot. Nigerian singer Rude Boy says he is proud of how Ghana's infrastructure, education, and security issues are well sorted compared to his home country. He also said Nigerians go there for holidays education, amongst other benefits. He made this known while reacting to the inability of Nigeria to beat Ghana to qualify for the upcoming FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Nigerian comedian and skit maker Mr. Macaroni has shared some of the threat messages he has been receiving since he objected to the reopening of the Lekki Toll Gate, which was shut down in 2020 after many Nigerians were killed during the #EndSARS protest across the country. The one who tweeted the threat message has now come out to apologize. On a sad note, Nigerian comedian Osama Akponunu has said that he has lost his wife, Mildred Morris. The comedian divulged this unfortunate incident with his associates and followers on Instagram recently. However, he did not reveal the exact details concerning her death. Also, on another sad note, popular Yoruba comic actor Kunle Adetokunbo, popularly known as Dejo Tunfulu, has been confirmed dead, aged 49. Bolaji Amusan, National President of the Theatre, Act and Motion Picture Practitioners Association of Nigeria, TAMPAN, confirmed the death to News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, on Friday. According to him, the deceased died on Thursday night. During his shock course, he attended the party 3 days prior to his death. And that's it on entertainment tidbits. Morning Ride continues shortly.
Condolences to the families of the deceased. We say, may their soul continue to rest in perfect peace. That is where we are going to call it a wrap on the show today. I'm sure that you have been well educated, you have been well entertained today for the past 90 minutes. What more can I say? A new week is beginning, and I would say that amidst all of the frustrating circumstances that we are being faced with as a people and as a nation, a little gentle word and a smile, an act of kindness will go a long way to bring down the tension. Remember, violence is never and can never be a solution. Till I come your way, same time, same station, same show next week. My name is Yinka Kenny. It is bye for now.
It's crispy the transcribe. We me and you and me. Baddest combination. My baby, it be you and me and you. Baddest combination. I don't love you, passing G-Wagon. Say you the fire me like G-Wagon. Baby, I don't love you, passing G-Wagon. Are you the fire me like G-Wagon? Place better than what I don't know. Restaurant.